فاتح محاتب العلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أما بعد، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله إلا الله. The idea of talking about the worst, there is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is a big thing in its own, in one's self. I know it's early morning, but the people of the people of the mu'mineen are supposed to be those in the early mornings do remembrance of Allah, and they do the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the best way to go towards God is to think, to contemplate. And hence why they say that if you do 1 hour of contemplation, it's worth of 70 years of worship. There's a hikmah behind it. There is a wisdom behind it. There are people who have known that they don't do a lot. They don't do a lot. They don't do a lot of worship. Salah is wajib, is lazim, but at the same time, thinking and contemplation about the signs of Allah is even more important.
MashaAllah.
But a second thing to understand is when we look at the signs of Allah, we need to see within our own selves as well. So for example, when we look at La ilaha illallah, we see there is no God but Allah. And this word itself is a huge bath in itself. You can look at it from a perspective of aqaid, from the perspective of psychology. If someone is going through mental health issues, we all know that there are issues we go through mental health wise. Yes, dua and dawah, but they have to have this reliance on God. So you look from a psychological point of view, you see that there is no God but Allah. If you look from a sociological point of view, you look at how the world has been created, the societies that have been raised and died, we see how the societies have been raised because of God and how they have fallen because of God. There's a whole discussion on this. But the one thing I want to talk about, and the one thing I think we have to discuss, is knowing how to prove God. If today I come to each one of you and say, how do we prove Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? There are a couple of opinions of the ulama. So one says you can do a complete, you have to know how to prove God through aql. And it's true. When you want to prove God, aqaid, Toheed, adad, nabuwat, ma'ad, you can prove the whole thing through aql. It's not hard. For example, and one of the best ways is to look at your mother, whether she's a Muslim or not. The mother will always teach you to have always teach you aqaid. So for example, if the kid is there and is hungry, who will he go to? The mother. Toheed. One mother. There's no other mother. Again, this instance a whole discussion and put it into a few sentences. And then then the kid will know that the mother will never do injustice to her. And if the mother is ever busy, she will put a signpost. Go to your father, or go to your siblings. Now what imamat? And then he talks about ma'al in a different way. So, I want to talk about how to prove God. And I know this is early morning and sometimes people want to sleep and it's too philosophical. And it's not philosophical, it's something which we should think about. Allah. One thing I want to talk about and how to prove God is talking about Burhanu Wajib Wujud. The Burhanu Wajib Wujud is basically the proof to prove Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through a logical set of premises, and at the end we can prove God. And I don't want to go in depth with this, and only want to go into the surface level because of the putting time into consideration. If we say Burhan Wajib Wujud, it begins with three main statements. Wajibul Wujud, which means the necessary existence. Second is the possible existence. And third is the impossible existence. One thing I know, and if you want to go more in depth, I'm sure Sheikh Nuru has some classes here going on. I know that a couple of months ago he was doing the tafsir of Ayatul Kursi here, and that in itself will prove Toheed in multiple ways. Multiple ways you can prove Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But my idea is, and this is a very simple way to prove God, and you will see this in all books, Haqqul Yaqeen, and all of other writing books. If you are, so the first thing is how, like me and you, humans, are we necessary or possible beings? I'm asking you, is it a possible being or is it a necessary being? Possible. How comes?
Because they can be born, they can not. My mother doesn't marry to my mother, I'm not into that.
So there is a time and place where we are not there. So this water here, at some point, was not in existence. Hence, it's a possible. It's mumkin. So when you say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how can you say He's wajib? Any ideas? How can you say He's wajib? It's because if you look through, again, this is a whole discussion as well, but the idea is that it is at some point you have to go back and you say, I was born through my parents and they were born to their parents, and till the end you have to believe at some point in time that there has to be a being who will to initiate it. Again, for a small example, if there was this water here and there was this scarf here, if the scarf cannot move until if the water can't move until the scarf moves, and the scarf can't move until I move, and I can't move until the water moves, what is the first thing which will move? The idea is they can't move by its own self. Someone has to begin pushing A for B to move, then C to move. It's a whole circle. Hence why there has to be someone to initiate it, and this is what we call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people call him Mother Nature. Some people call him a different thing, but it's all semantics. The idea is to prove Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you want to prove one God, that's a different discussion in its own self. So this is how to prove God in a very, very, very small way, like 6 minutes. This is how to prove God. One other aspect I want to talk about when you talk about La ilaha illallah is when you talk about reliance on God. And this is my final point, because I know that this is just for introductory reasons. I don't want to go more in depth. When you say reliance on God, when you say tawakkul on God, the ulama say there are three ways you can rely on God. The first way we rely on God is the way how the accountant is with his customer. The customer will have 70-80% of the yaqeen that he will do the work. For example, if there's a prosecutor and he wants to hire a lawyer, the prosecutor will have 70-80% yaqeen that he knows that he will do the work. Although there is a bit of shock that it might go wrong. That's one way of reliance. And unfortunately, this is us nowadays. And the second way of reliance is the mother to the kid. The kid, whenever wants something, will go to the mother. It's because the kid knows, if I want anything, I go to mother. Water, I go to mother. I want food, mother. I want happiness, mother. And the third way, and this is the way of the Urafa and all the ways of the spiritual wayfarers, is when there's a dead body and the ghusl, and the one who does a ghusl to the dead body. When the one who's doing ghusl will move the body will move. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He is Yadullah, it's talking about Imam Ali al-Mu'mineen at the strike of Khaybar, because Imam Ali is called the strike of God, and how there is a friend of God, Khalilullah, and the tongue of God. All this is a metaphorical sense, right? So you have to have this idea that that when you move, it's towards the will of God, and there are stages to all this, and this is why when we talk about the reliance of God, we say that if there's only one place we can see this reliance of God, and this was in the day of Ashura. The day of Ashura, the reliance of God was so great that there was Bibi Zainab saying, "Ma ra'aytu illa jamila." I did not see anything but beauty, and hence why we need to have reliance of God. When we talk about the reliance of God, and only just 2 words of Masai before we end, and this is, I simply don't understand one thing. How can someone have the reliance of God to such an extent that they can see the dead bodies of every individual from the family come in and go out? This reliance of God is manifested in Imam Ali when Hazrat Abbas had gone to the battlefield. On the day of Ashura, when Hazrat Abbas had gone to the battlefield, and this in itself is a whole bahath, and how Hazrat Abbas is a very strong army. One individual is an army in itself. When Hazrat Abbas went onto the battlefield, there were arrows thrown at him, thousands of arrows, but there were 3 arrows which struck him the most. One was on his chest, second was one on his eye, the third was one on the water, to the extent that as Hazrat Abbas, when he fell down, he said that I cannot go back to Imam Hussein because I don't have water, but I can't go back to Furat, I don't have hands. So Ya Allah, keep my body, I don't want to go back. When he fell down in the floor, someone came up to him. Hazrat Abbas pleaded and said, "Oh man, I cannot, please don't kill me unless I see my master Imam Hussein." وآخر دعوانا والحمد لله رب العالمين.